my name is 𝘾𝙁𝙄𝙏, and on today's video I'll be attempting yet another impossible shell challenge. And boy oh boy has Panda given me a very impossible shell to work with. New day, new contestants, and today I'll be going against Panda, Floaty, and Marty. Okay, so this is the impossible shell I've been given this time, and as you can see, Panda went a little crazy with the cylinders. And these arches, why? So for this I had a few ideas of what I could do. I was thinking maybe I could do an Atlantis build because it reminded me of the Atlantis city from The Little Mermaid. I could have gone with a space idea, maybe some kind of modern futuristic like settlement. But overall I kind of decided to lean to making some laboratories under the ocean, mainly inspired by Subnautica. But basing off of Subnautica and getting my reference, I decided to get to work. So I did decide that I would like to bring some elements from real life into this build and challenge myself in some new ways. The first one being, I wanted to make an underwater explorer, and I kind of based it off the idea of the Little Hercules. Why do I feel like I'm not saying that right? I probably am. But it is a little research vessel that goes into the ocean and will collect data of either the environments, the structure of the sea, or as well as what animals they can find and how many and so in a certain area. But yeah, I know that was probably quite a mouthful, but this is the main thing I wanted to get done. I will show some reference of what kind of pulled me to certain elements. I did include stuff that weren't there. I kind of skipped out a lot on the reference. There was a load of mechanical parts underneath, and I just wasn't sure how I could really encompass it without it looking a bit weird. So I kind of went for a more modern and sleek look, kind of something that would be a little more Subnautica, as well as a little Subnautica. Anyway, here you can see me trying to figure out the colour palettes. I thought I could copy something off the Hercules, do with that bright Explorer yellow, get some more colours in it. Kind of how I did my Aladdin build, I wanted it to seem vibrant. Though, I do later on I do know I changed the colour to go with something more modern with like whites, greys and metals. But here we can see me trying to figure out what I'm going to do at the bottom. I was like, oh, I don't really want to add like a bunch of like bits and bobs, mainly because I have to remember the price, because that is my biggest weakness, is not checking how much I'm putting into a plot and finding out it's over, and I'm like, oh no, all this hard work for nothing. And then Panda laughs at me, as she does. Here we can see me actually deciding, yeah, orange is not it. It looked a bit too goofy and I was worried people wouldn't really understand what it is. So the story behind this plot is I kind of wanted to do a deep sea lab that had maybe gone a little too deep, considering the ocean is only about, I believe, 85% explored. I thought it'd be kind of cool to add the horror aspect of we don't know what's down there, and there's so much we don't know that anything could be there. Including Cthulhu, who has decided to make yet another appearance. Here you can see me doing the kind of same thing I did for my Cthulhu build. If you want a more slower version of how I made that tentacle, you can go check out my other build. And here is something I kind of tweaked with when Panda originally showed me the layout, because she gives us some advance. I wanted to try and make jellyfish, or some kind of cheaper way of filling like life in the build. And honestly, this was it. I kind of messed around for a while, but the vines make for such cool tentacles. Is it tentacles? I feel like it's called something else. Anyway, let's skip. So a little further into the build, I was working on the layout. I added giant pillars of seaweed. I did start adding coral, but the more I looked at it, it just frustrated me. In the video, you'll probably see me coming to a stop in some locations, mainly because I got overwhelmed and I was like, why does this not look right? I tried so hard. And this is where I was like alternating. Was it the rocks? Was it like, should it be more sandy, colourful? Is it too plain? It was mainly just me messing around with textures and just trying to get the general vibe of what I wanted. I didn't even want to touch those arches because, oh my god, it was painful. Here I thought I'd just work on the inside a little bit, maybe it would inspire how I can change the outside to match. Right now I'm working on the little garden room. I thought, you know, if you're miles and miles under the ocean, you're not really going to be able to get that food to you. At least not easily or cheaply. And we all know the government doesn't like spending a lot of money. So this lab is included with a little garden. So try and give the lab experiment like vibes of, you know, going a little too deep into the ocean, maybe interacting with things you shouldn't. I thought it'd be kind of cool to add some like monitors, maybe with some stuff going on them. I was going to use decals, but then I remembered decals are really expensive and I have a habit of kind of going over by accident. So I thought I'd just do with some lines and just adjust them. We'll just say this lab has some cutbacks. I wasn't too sure how I'd decorate it, mainly because at this point I was just really frustrated. Like, this build was not how I was picturing it. Here's me going back inside. I was like, screw it, if I can't make the outside— oh, sorry for the flashbang, by the way. I thought maybe my build was just too plain, so I went around. I did make some of the towers into like rock formations, just so it kind of broke up the laboratory a little bit, because I didn't want it to be just a big collection of just white pillars. And I was trying to add a little bit of clutter. There was no plan for people to actually be able to go into this build. It was mainly just to see from the outside perspective and get the feel of being in this environment without, you know, going too crazy on the cost. Thank you to my editor, by the way, who went through this and was just like, what is she doing? Because I didn't know. Either way, I thought it'd be kind of cool, you know, when you're in a laboratory and then, you know, something's attacking, you normally see flashing lights to indicate, uh-oh, we're in trouble. And I remembered that recently I was enjoying using the Christmas lights which flash, and they kind of give, you know, urgency to the situation, because I'd be pretty panicked if I saw a giant tentacle coming from the abyss with eyes to where, you know, I'm stationed underwater, no escape, and if anything was to happen and I ended up outside these walls, I don't believe I would survive too long. Oh, this is something I liked. I wasn't too sure what to do across this space. I didn't want to add like more rocks, so I ended up adding like these tubes connected to them, maybe to supply oxygen, power, who knows. But I made use of using simple shapes as well as the fog machine, which honestly I use a lot of. I don't know, it's just cool and you always find something. I also wanted to make work of the new items because I was like, oh, I have to implement these. They just came out when we were recording this, and boy oh boy did it look good. Here's me sprucing up my Ocean Explorer, because I was so sure it was texture-wise, but every time I was looking at my build, I became so frustrated and nervous, especially with how nice everyone else's was. Like, I don't know if you guys will see what Floaty's done, and having that lurking behind you while already stressed out with your own build does not help. But you did amazing, Floaty, if you came and visited this. Here I was going to do some like living quarters in that little top building, but I just ran out of time and I was already nervous with money. As well as trying to add some like structure to the cylinders, just because they seem so plain. They were all white, I didn't want to add too much. So I thought it'd be cool to use the bath rails and the ladders. Then I added some more lights, blocked off some of the windows just so it didn't seem empty, because I was not prepared to do another tower. I was already feeling burnt out. Oh, this is when I decided I wanted to give these jellyfish a little bit of a flair, and then I realised, I have to adjust these. Sadly the lights aren't that easy to work with. But I think it adds like a nice feeling to it, especially, you know, when you go really deep into the ocean, you normally see some kind of like creature with some glowing aspects just so they can, you know, live in such a dark and cold and high pressured place. I also added some lights which are blue just to kind of give it more of the ocean look, because I was worried it was seeming a little too, I don't know, a little too out of the water. I made some little fishies because I wanted this place to feel like it's thriving and that there is stuff that these scientists could find and study. As you know, besides the giant creature dwelling in the darkness, waiting to strike. Do have a little surprise for you guys if you've not seen it already. I really like to make little like shorts of like lore about my builds, And yeah, this is the first time I've made one with audio using voice actors. Thank you, Panda, who was kind enough to voice one of the characters for me. You may notice the male's voice is a bit weird. That's because I did it and I'm not very good at it, so... But I hope the story is interesting to you.
This is amazing. I've never seen jelly as fishy as this large. Are you seeing this, Sarah?
Just hurry up and collect the data. I need you in the lab.
Yeah. Let me just get a few more photos, okay? What the? Sarah, did you hear that?
Stop being a drama queen, will you? I didn't hear anything and nothing was being picked up. Just hurry up. I'm about to start the experiment on subject BM01.
Okay. Just a few more pictures and I'll be right there, okay? See you soon.
Now, where were we? Shush. There's no need to cry. Your sacrifice will be remembered in the history of scientific advancements. What's that sound? What are these readings? Something's not right. Jack, you need to return too. Oh my gosh, what is that? Jack, look out! There's something behind you! Jack, look out! There's something behind you!
Sarah, you're breaking up. What did you say?
Behind you!
What is that? Oh god, it's grabbing the Ocean Explorer. No, wait, please, no! No!
Hello, we've came to the end of the video now. If you like these kind of videos, make sure to check out my previous Impossible Shell challenges, as well as look out for the future content I plan to make. Make sure to like and subscribe, as well as leave your comments of what you enjoyed about this video.